Hi everyone, Peter from Burra Country, and in this episode I'm actually doing a fit into my GWM Ute of a power board and an inverter, and for the purposes, one, I had a power board already in the side in the Ute and I didn't do a very good job of it, so I've redone that and I'm reinstalling that now with a way better fitting, and I'll show you what I've done. And also I've put a board in on the side so I can put a 2000 watt inverter in the back. Now the GWM Ute actually comes with an inverter. The only thing is you've got to have the engine running, and it's a 1500 watt inverter, which would be great if you were charging something while you're driving along. But I do have a backup battery in the back of the Ute, so I'm going to put the inverter in there so that I can actually run and charge up my e-bikes or have additional power when I'm with the caravan, or anything else you might need 240 volts for. So I'm going to put that in, or charging up tools and that sort of thing. So that's going to go in, and I have already started this, so I'm just going to show you. I've actually got, just to give you a look here, I've made boards to go in. So I've made panels, and this is on the left hand side. Now just a note about that, the reason why I picked the left hand side is because there's a bit more room to work with, because if you look at the right hand side, it's a slightly different shape. And the reason that is there above the wheel arch is because of the fuel tank filler. So that's where the filler goes in. So there's nothing in this side, so it's okay to put some riv nuts in the walls, and that way you're not going to run into any trouble. So what I've done is I've put riv nut panels here, so I can put panels in. I've also put riv nuts up here so I can put a secondary panel in. This is the 12 volt coming back off the main battery. It does have an isolator already on it, so I had that put in with an isolator, and so that brings power back. The board will be here and the inverter will be there, and there's the battery sitting up the back. And later on, probably for 2000 watts, you probably need two. That's 125 amp hour battery, so you probably need two. And I've got this here, I've got the roller shutter on the back, and so you lose all that extra space. And let's face it, you put a roller shutter on, you lose a huge amount of your Ute space, but it makes it waterproof and more secure. So this is going to go up, this panel here is going to go up on the top wall here. So it is a Renogy 2000 watt. It's got sticky stuff stuck on it, but that's okay, we'll get rid of that later. So it's a 2000 watt inverter from Renogy. Probably not the best quality one on the planet. It's one I had bought for something else, and so I thought I'd use it for now, and I may even change it later. We'll see how it goes. If it works, it works. So that's going to go in. Now the thing about that is you've got to have space at the back. You've got to make sure you've got airflow around the back here, and also that you can get all the wiring in. And with the wiring, you need to be able to put in a fuse or a circuit breaker, like a 250 amp one for this one. And I've also got a shunt, so a negative line shunt, so that you can actually see how much voltage is being dragged out of the battery and how much you've got left in it. And so I've got that as well. So I'm going to be wiring that onto the board. Now this is quite long, so when I put it here, it actually takes up a lot of space, and I want to have it as far forward as I can, so I've got room behind it to put wiring onto the board here and do it. So okay, so all this is now attached, so I've got the timber in there, and you can see it's all carpeted in there, so that's all fitted in. So the riv nuts, which I'd already had lined up, they all lined up. At one there that's a bit of a problem, but the rest of these are in. So this board here is for the power board. Okay, so this is the finished look. It's all plugged back in, got the fuses back in, got the circuit breaker on, and that is how it is fitted in to the passenger side wall of the tray. Now I've got a circuit breaker up in the back there, and although some people say those circuit breakers aren't much good with the inverters, we'll see how it goes. I do have a 250 amp fuse available. I've run very high, I've run 290 amp power cables from the battery to the inverter, so that will reduce any risks there, and also you're not going to get any voltage reduction getting to it. So that's it. Now I'm just going to give you a profile shot, because I want to show you this has come up pretty neat, and a lot neater than I actually, as far as how it sticks into the Ute itself. That's it really. It's actually pretty neatly packed in there. and out of the way. And as you can see, like I normally have my fridge would go in here. So this is where my fridge slide, and I use that removable fridge slide mod that I did a video on earlier, so please have a look at that if you haven't. And it's been a pretty well looked at video, so thank you for that. But yeah, so the fridge will go there, it plugs into there. This is all plugged back into the car itself via an Anderson plug that's sitting in behind here, and that's got a battery isolator on it. So okay, so just to finish off, did a couple of things with the bar as well, other than I've wired this up for 2 spotlights. So there's one for the other side. I've got the wiring in there. I had a pair of these. I just can't find the other one. So that's okay. I will, can't find it, I'll get another white one. Or a pair of black ones. It doesn't matter. I've actually wired up with plugs in the wiring so that I can take these off. If I had to take this bar off, you could unplug everything and pull it out. It'd be a bit of a pain in the butt, but that's you could do it. So there will be another spotlight on there, and that's really handy for like if you're collecting the boat at night, or you're working on a caravan, or you have to hook up at night. We'll have some lighting there. So the other thing I did was this bar, these hooks were actually facing upwards, so they're actually pointing, these hooks here, these are actually facing upwards like that, and it wouldn't fit inside my garage here, so it wouldn't go in through under the roller door, so that was no good. So what I've done is I've rotated the bar, I put more riv nuts back into there so that it can be bolted back on, and it's now riv nutted with these tie downs, because they're really handy, these tie downs that are part of that, and I didn't want to cut them off. So rotating it down drops it down, you know, from about that high up, and it will now actually fit by about 1 centimetre, so that's okay as long as there's nothing on it. So that's cool. So finish the whole job off. So thanks everyone for joining me on Burra Country once again, and thanks for looking at my GWM mod and for putting in the inverter. So now we're going to get out and use that and get out on the road, do some more rail trails, and we're going to do some walking rail trails and riding the rail trails and getting around Victoria again. So see you out there in Burra Country.